Yeah, I mean, I think we could have played better, obviously. Really disappointed in the 4-minute at the end of the game down there. I think red zone we got to improve. We got to tighten some things up down there. Quarterback scrambles showed up, and some of those were in situations where I think we're going to be able to affect them, and just made some bad decisions, and he was able to get out. I was proud of the way they came out and fought in the second half, strung some stops together there, kind of kept us in the game there. Wish we would have finished the fourth better. Like, thought we tackled well for the most part until late in the game. That one drive, that's when it showed up. We had a couple missed tackles there. Obviously the Debo touchdown and little pass out to Eckler. And then at the end of the game there, the missed tackle on the running back in the 4-minute. But a lot of things to improve upon. Excited to get back out here today and work and continue to improve and make sure we're coordinated, all on the same page, able to execute. But again, it's 1 week. We got to be able to turn the page, and excited for this opportunity this week.
You talked a lot this offseason how you're going to get the edge rushers on the field together. How do you feel? People look at Abdul playing 50% of snaps, thinking that's low. How do you deal with his workload in the session?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that's going to evolve as we go here. Again, the first game for all those guys, a lot of factors going into that game with their offense, the tempo, the different schemes, everything that comes into play with that. I think the tempo kind of handcuffs you a little bit with how much control you potentially have over that at times. But I think each week is something we're going to look at, just ways situationally that fit, that we're able to hopefully utilize those three guys, whether it's together, separately, but continue to evolve as we go, and we'll see where that goes. It might be totally different this week, balance, like just in terms of count and where it stands. So I think it's week to week. With that, I was pleased with Abdul with what he did when he was in there. I think he was effective. You felt him out there. So, and same with Burns and KT. I thought both those guys did some good things. So
how much does Micah's absence change the defense? And does it, on the flip side of that, give you an opportunity to maybe get more snaps for Abdul and for those three guys together?
Yeah, that's a good question. Got a lot of confidence in Moose. He went in there. I thought he did a good job last week for the most part. He's done really well last year when he played for us, and then throughout training camp this preseason. But yeah, Abdul's got the history of playing off the ball, so that's something we got to consider, got to look at. Another way, as you said, to potentially get all three of those guys on the field, and I think all those guys have versatility to do some different things for us that we got to continue to explore. And by game plan, what we're seeing, first, second down versus third down, what are those situations on third down, all that stuff kind of comes into play.
Shane, does Abdul playing specials affects his defensive snaps, his overall defensive snaps?
I mean, I think it adds to it, like just what they're asking him to do on teams, and I'm not even 100% sure what all he's doing, what all four phases he's involved in there. But again, it's just added plays, right? It's added plays, and some of those plays are long plays. They're long running plays. So, I mean, for us, I think it's probably more in the moment, just if we get a feel based on that as it plays out, where he's at after that play potentially or before that play. So I think that varies. I wouldn't say we put a lot of stock into that, just in terms of it's adding to his play count, and we got to be aware of that.
Fair to say that I don't know if you have a number in mind, Shane, but fair to say I think it was 8 snaps together for those three guys, whatever percentage that is. Fair to say you want more than 8 together for those three guys, or more than whatever percentage?
Yeah, I think as the game goes, that kind of dictates it a little bit, what you're able to get from those guys and what personnel groups you're able to get them in on. That plays a part, but yeah, I mean, anytime we can get those three on the field, I think it's beneficial for us in certain situations, right? It could be not very beneficial in other situations, just depending on how teams are attacking us at the time. So something we got to continue to look at and make sure we find those opportunities when they're there.
What he did at the end of the first half, was that normal? Abdul, I'm talking about. He came in at when Daniels threw the ball out of bounds and got the penalty. Abdul came in like waving his arms or whatever. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I think it was a unique play because it was going fast. Their tackle didn't move. Like the tackle got stuck based on the count. He was running free. I think part of that was Daniel's ability to be elusive and escape. So a lot of factors probably went into that.
Might have forced the penalty.
No doubt.
Shane flop Banks played, I think, like 11. Was that kind of scheduled, or was that sort of like the flow of the game, the way Flop was playing? How did that work out?
Yeah, kind of based on our game plan going in, what we wanted to do with those guys. I thought they both did a really good job. I do. I know Flack gave up the one. He kind of got turned around there. But both those guys did a good job in the opportunity they were given. And, again, I think that's another week-to-week thing just based on what we feel is best for us going into the game, who's best utilized based on skill sets, whatever else. The game plan, that plays a part of it too. So, I mean, that'll be a pretty fluid thing as we go.
You did that type of between the last year, so that Cordell being on early downs, like the Dorian commit. What is just the thought process there? Having one guy play most of the snaps, but on early downs, and bring something totally different in playoffs out of third.
Yeah, it's a different, like first, second down's a different game than third down a lot of times, just in terms of a lot of things. Whole playbook's open for the most part for the offense, what they're able to see, just what we're playing. I think that plays a role too, like how we're planning to attack teams. So I mean, there's a variety of reasons that kind of go into that. And again, I think they both earned the opportunity to play. That was part of it too, right? Like they both earned the opportunity to play, and that's something we're just going to have to keep looking at as we move forward here.
With Muasal, just how much confidence, I guess if that's the word, just from him playing last year, starting wearing the green dot, how much does that give you confidence if he has to pick a role that he can step in and do what he needs to do?
Yeah, like I said, I got a lot of confidence in Moose. I mean, he was thrown in the fire week 1 last year, if you guys remember, and started for us his very first game. So thought he progressed. I thought he improved throughout the season. I thought he developed throughout the season. And again, out here at training camp, practice, everything else, like encouraged by him, encouraged by this opportunity for him to go out there and take advantage of it.
What were you seeing from Dak's film just last week? What stood out to you about Dak?
Yeah, I mean, he's an elite quarterback. He can, when he's in rhythm, and he can get the ball of his hands in a hurry. He's accurate. So we're going to have to do a good job trying to affect him as best we can. But again, he's got a ton of weapons. I mean, you talk about obviously CD, you got Pickens, you got Ferguson, Turpin's getting a little bit more tick for him now. So it's going to be a big challenge for us. We got hopefully do a really good job finding ways to affect them. Right?
How do you navigate you want to keep guys fresh. You want to pay attention going in. All right, what's their snap count? We don't want to burn these guys out. But also, as the game is going on, you know, you want your best players on the field.
No doubt.
And that's something I'm sure that you talk about game plan wise. Isn't an evolution during the game? I mean, are you guys looking at numbers? Are you checking with position guys?
I think it's coaches, the position coaches have an idea of that. The guys up in the box. I think part of it is just feel for the players too, like where they're at as they come off the field, how they're feeling. Last week was a little unique too because they weren't huddling, so like just the tempo, the on the ball, the urgency, everything that comes with it. Like that can add an element of draining on top of it being the first game, you know. So, I mean, I think early on in the season is something you definitely got to be conscious of as a staff, like early on. But again, I felt like all those guys, for the most part, when they were in there, they were going and they were able to go. And like you said, the critical situations, we want best players on the field.
What did you see from Russ after watching that game?
Yeah, I thought the unit as a whole, really just kind of choppy. I think we'll continue to grow and get better with it as we work as a unit. But I think there's a lot to look forward to, and we had a great week of practice, and so we're really focused on that right now.
With the run game, with the run game, just what did you see about it just not being as effective as you wanted it to be?
Yeah, we missed on a few things, whether it was a block here or a read key here, certain times of calling it. So really just everybody just kind of getting back on the same page, and that's what we focused on this week in our run game meetings, our pass game pods, just working through those details and making sure we're all straight on the execution part of it.
A follow up to that would be Russ's career is he's mostly a good play action quarterback. how much did not being able to establish the run like that take away from what you wanted to do with the run?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. There's certain elements of that show up in the game. You know, things kind of declare itself. You obviously want to be able to be multidimensional on offense and be able to run the football, attack the inside, the outside, downfield, make them defend the entire, width and depth of the field. So when you kind of get out of those certain situations, it's tough. And so we got to do a better job on first and second down. We got to do a better job early in the game of getting into a rhythm and getting our guys going.
Mike, along with that, Russ has the long history of throwing the moon ball, the deep pass. I think statistically, there was only one ball thrown more than 20 yards down the field. Was that more just about situation? Was that about not having time for him to do that?
I don't know about that. I felt like we had a few more opportunities than one. But, it's part of the game. If you have a matchup, our guys, we've been preaching it all season. Let's take a matchup down the field, and so we like our receivers. We like our ability to block up front. We like our backs. So if we have matchups across the board, sure, we're going to be aggressive.
Like what happened in the red zone? I think it was, especially the low red zone. I think if my math was right, you passed it 12 of 13 times in the red zone. Obviously, it didn't work out. So what happened? Did you get away from what you wanted to do down there?
No, I think we had a really good plan going into it. Just didn't really get the execution we needed. They had a couple of good change-ups on defense. They did a nice job. So I think those are great learning experiences. We have a bunch of stuff in the plan, and today's a red zone third down day as well. So we'll go work those.
What was the thought process? The first red zone play you ran the play above. What was the thought process behind that? Is that something you were for a while there?
Yeah, you look at when you start evaluating the tape and you see maybe there was an alignment that we thought we could take advantage of. And, things, the first game of the year, there's a little bit of, they could adjust this way. We thought we had a good look and a good play, and so we went and called it, and we're trying to be aggressive with it. It didn't work out. First down call, you have the ability to use those type of calls because really the defense doesn't know, are you running it, are you throwing it? They did a nice job playing it, so hats off to them. But, we're going to continue to be aggressive, try and be as creative as we can to score points.
How different did their defense look in week one without Micah Parsons from the one you saw for 3 years?
Listen, this is a really talented team. I know Micah's a heck of a player. But this team is stacked across the board up front. Those two interior guys, they can get after it. Clark, this is a good defense, and it's well coached. Flus does a great job of getting these guys in different types of coverages, different types of zone coverages, pressures. And we have a long history, going against them when he was in Indy and in Chicago. So these guys are going to be ready to roll. So we got to get our stuff right and cleaned up, and that's why we're here practicing. I'm looking forward to today.
Anything else? Ron Bland might not. I think they said might not be out. Does that change anything?
We'll just continue to monitor it. Obviously, you don't know. I don't know what I heard the report too, but we'll just monitor it and see what that looks like come game day.
What did you?
We'll take both.
Yeah.
Kenny Clark, just talk about the problems that he presents.
Yeah, obviously in Green Bay, facing him the last few years, he's a problem. He's a good player. So we have to make sure we know where he's at in each play. And I know getting inserted into the scheme, I'm sure there'll be some carryover from the stuff that he did in Green Bay. But he's a heck of a player. He's a great motor. This guy plays his butt off, and it'll be a great challenge.
How did Sunday go just from being on the sidelines, obviously, and doing all preseason?
Yeah, I thought it was smooth. I think we were able to communicate with the players, make some adjustments. Up until that last drive, really, it's an 8-point game, so we're just really right there. Just couldn't get enough going early. But I think we'll change that. We'll change the tide. We had a good week of practice yesterday, a good walkthrough. The guys are detailed. They're into it. And so I got a lot of optimism, and I'm really excited about today. It's going to be a great day in terms of our red zone, our third downs. Those are critical situations that we got to knock out. And, the guys had a great meeting. So, we'll go get the corrections. And come tomorrow, when we look at some more situations, just keep on stacking those days. I think that's been kind of the mantra in our room and as an offensive unit is, all right, we have a good day or we have an issue, let's get that thing fixed, and then let's come stack it and continue to be positive and get better.